Thank you so much for inviting us here. We had the chance to be at your concert Saturday night.
Did you like it?
It was amazing. And could you tell us how did you manage to make it so different and people react so well to what you're doing?
The world of classical music was rocked by a revelation that no one could have predicted. Rieu, the charismatic king of the waltz, left behind a fortune that made his own family cry. But it's not just about money. There are secrets hidden for decades, bold decisions, and life choices that shocked even those closest to him. Imagine a life of luxury, historic castles, Stradivarius violins worth millions, tours of packed stadiums, and television contracts that yielded unimaginable sums. Behind the charming smile and breathtaking performances, there are controversial stories, risky investments, near bankruptcy in 2008, maintaining an empire of more than 200 people, and the pressure of balancing a colossal fortune with his passion for music. Some critics have even accused Rieu of turning classical music into too much of a commercial spectacle, but the fact is that he has built an empire that few could have imagined. The question everyone is now asking is, how can someone so successful still surprise his own family with financial secrets and unexpected decisions? And what impact does this have on his legacy and on classical music itself? In this video, we'll dive deep into the life of Rieu, reveal controversial details about his fortune, show his most unbelievable possessions, talk about million-dollar TV contracts and partnerships that few people know about, and discuss his lifestyle that mixes luxury, passion, and controversy. Stay with us until the end, because the last revelation will really shock you and may forever change the way you see this music icon. And if you like discovering secrets like this, don't forget to click subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Your subscription is crucial for YouTube to understand that our content is relevant, helping the channel grow and reach more curious people like you. For those who want to support us even more, there's Super Thanks, which helps us continue to bring you exclusive stories and surprising revelations. And if you can't contribute financially, no problem, just leave a comment about what surprised you most about this story. Get ready, because what you're about to discover about Rieu and his fortune goes far beyond what any fan could have imagined. Rieu was born on October 1, 1949, in the charming city of Maastricht, Netherlands, and from an early age his life was deeply connected to music. Growing up in a musical family had a significant impact on his upbringing. His father, Rieu Sr., was the conductor of the Limburg Symphony Orchestra, while his mother also had a great appreciation for the arts, creating an environment where a love of music was natural and constant. From an early age, André showed an interest and talent for musical instruments, beginning to study the violin at the age of 5. This interest was not just child's play. He was deeply involved in daily practice, fascinated by the possibility of creating something beautiful and expressive through music. His father's influence was decisive. By attending rehearsals and concerts, André absorbed not only the technique but also the discipline and passion necessary to become a complete musician. Music was not just an extracurricular activity for him, but a central component of his life, shaping his habits, his friendships, and even his worldview. During his childhood, André was a curious and imaginative boy. Fascinated by stories and adventures, he had an open mind to his surroundings, including architecture, art, and, of course, the sounds that filled his home and city. His first contact with performance was not limited to concert halls. He often participated in small family and school performances, learning early on how to deal with audiences and express emotions through music. In addition to his musical talent, Rieu had a special interest in castles and medieval stories, inspired by comics such as Tintin, which featured adventures in ancient castles, fostering a fascination that, years later, would culminate in the purchase of his own castle in Maastricht. This connection between childhood, imagination, and passion for music explains much of his vibrant personality and the way he approaches life with enthusiasm and joy. André's learning environment was also marked by a constant pursuit of excellence. He studied at the Royal Conservatory of Liège and then at the Maastricht Conservatory, where he was encouraged to explore not only technique but also the emotional interpretation of the pieces he played. His natural talent was complemented by rigorous discipline, resulting in early achievements such as winning the coveted Premier Prix in violin, a recognition that would mark the beginning of his professional career. Parallel to his formal studies, his personal life always reflected a strong connection to his family. He maintained a delicate balance between the rigor of musical practice and moments of leisure, cultivating lasting friendships and experiences that would enrich his artistic vision. André and his wife, Marjorie, shared their lives and love of music, supporting each other in all aspects, from managing the orchestra to raising their children. His close relationship with his family and appreciation of his cultural roots in Maastricht show that, despite his global fame, André Rieu has always kept his feet firmly on the ground, nurturing his origins and prioritizing emotional ties. In addition, his captivating and generous personality is evident in the way he treats fellow musicians and his audience. He has never lost the empathy he developed in his childhood, understanding the importance of creating memorable experiences for everyone around him. This personal connection with people is visible in his music and in the way he conducts his performances, transforming each concert into an intimate and warm event, even in front of thousands of spectators. André is also known for his contagious humor and joy, characteristics that are reflected in his daily life and in the environment he creates for his orchestra and team. Even with the growth of his career and fortune, he values simple moments, family gatherings, and the continuity of the traditions that shaped him, showing that his childhood and personal life molded not only a great musician, but also an attentive, generous human being who is passionate about what he does. The combination of these elements, a childhood immersed in music, constant family support, intellectual curiosity, artistic discipline, and deep emotional connections, explains the solid foundation on which André Rieu has built his extraordinary career and his rich and fulfilling personal life. It is this combination of talent, dedication, and humanity that makes the story of his personal life as fascinating as his professional career, revealing a man who, despite all his success and worldwide fame, remains rooted in the experiences and values of his childhood in Maastricht. When talking about André Rieu, the first image that comes to mind for many people is that of a charming violinist, charismatic conductor, and creator of magical musical experiences with his Johann Strauss orchestra. However, behind this extraordinary talent and contagious passion for music, there is also a financial empire carefully built over decades. André Rieu's estimated fortune is the result of a unique combination of artistic ability, business acumen, persistence, and a shrewd understanding of how to transform classical music into something not only culturally significant but also commercially viable. Unlike many classical musicians who rely on institutional sponsorships or government funding, Rieu has always sought to create an independent career with multiple sources of income, which has allowed him to accumulate an estimated net worth of tens of millions of dollars. Although the exact figures may vary depending on the source, some estimates put his fortune at around $40 million, while others calculate it at around 25 million euros, which already demonstrates the magnitude of his business and the financial success of his career. But this wealth is not just about money in the bank. It is deeply connected to the assets that Rieu has acquired throughout his life, each with its own history and personal significance. Among his main assets is the impressive castle in Maastricht, acquired in the late 1990s. This castle, known as Huys de Tor or House of the Small Turrets, is more than just a luxury property. It is a symbol of his social rise and a childhood dream come true. André bought the castle almost by chance while on vacation in the south of France when he heard that the property was for sale. The memory of taking piano lessons in the same building during his childhood and his fascination with castles since he was a child, inspired by comic books such as Tintin, made the acquisition even more meaningful. He paid approximately 1.45 million euros at the time, which would be about $1.9 million, and has since invested substantially in renovations, restorations, and customizations, transforming it into a true modern palace with classic touches, orangeries, lush gardens, and luxurious details that reflect his personal and artistic taste. In addition to the castle, André Rieu has a diverse portfolio of real estate in Maastricht, which includes 34 properties, including buildings near the castle and land. This strategy not only protects and diversifies his assets, but also demonstrates his entrepreneurial vision and interest in long-term investments, combining historical value, prime location, and potential for appreciation. Another important part of his fortune is directly linked to music. The Stradivarius violins he owns are priceless assets, both financially and emotionally. Among them are a violin from 1667 and another from 1732, each valued at several million euros, depending on the market and the rarity of the instrument. These violins are not just tools of the trade, they are historical objects, symbols of tradition and excellence, and represent Ryu's emotional bond with music. He often compares his relationship with his violins to his relationship with loved ones, emphasizing that the care, dedication, and passion he applies to these instruments reflect his own life and career. In addition to real estate and instruments, Ryu's fortune is sustained by his musical career and the multiple sources of income he has created over the years. The conductor built a veritable musical empire, with global tours by the Johann Strauss Orchestra, DVDs, CDs, merchandising, workshops, studio recordings, and contracts with television stations. One of the decisive moments came in 1995, during a live broadcast of a soccer game, when he bought 60 seconds of TV time to play Shostakovich's famous Second Waltz, and the performance coincided with a goal that captured the attention of the entire audience. In just 1 week, he sold 200,000 CDs, proving the power of his commercial vision and the potential to monetize his art in innovative ways. Since then, Rieu has never stopped. His tours are huge events, with hundreds of musicians, complex logistics, luxurious sets, custom costumes, and special attention to every detail, including instrument transportation and staff welfare. He himself has stated that he needs about $1 million a month just to maintain his orchestra and staff, which includes full-time employees and freelancers. Even in the face of financial challenges, such as the risky investment in a luxurious stage in 2008, Rieu has demonstrated resilience and recovery, further consolidating his financial position. It is also important to mention that André Rieu's fortune is carefully managed and protected. The Stradivarius violins receive special care, insurance, and first-class transportation, while the castle and other properties undergo constant restoration. The management of his financial empire involves detailed planning, diversification strategies, and attention to risk, reflecting the same dedication he applies to music. Furthermore, Rieu has demonstrated that his fortune is not solely for his own benefit. In crisis situations, such as during the COVID-19 pandemic, he stated that he would sell one of his valuable violins to ensure the survival of his orchestra, showing that his wealth is closely linked to the preservation of his musical legacy. André Rieu's fortune, therefore, is a reflection of his entire life. Talent, vision, passion, dedication, innovation, and love for music and the people who work with him. Each property, each violin, each tour, each TV contract, and each commercial partnership is not just a source of income, but part of a larger narrative, where wealth and art intertwine to create a lasting impact on the world of classical music and global culture. In short, André Rieu's estimated fortune goes far beyond numbers or bank accounts. It represents decades of hard work, unparalleled creativity, and the ability to turn passion into wealth, all while maintaining an emotional connection with his audience, his family, his team, and, of course, the music that is the true heart of his life. Contrast André Rieu's advertising partnerships and TV contracts form a fascinating part of the machinery that has transformed the Dutch conductor into one of the most recognizable and profitable artists in the world of popular classical music. Although Rieu is celebrated primarily for his musicality, charisma, and grandiose performances, his media presence and relationship with major TV networks play an essential role in how his work reaches millions of people around the world. From the beginning of his career, he realized that music lives not only on stage, but also through the screen, and it was precisely this strategic vision that elevated his name to a level rarely achieved by artists in the classical world. As his Johann Strauss Orchestra grew, Rieu began to understand the importance of broadcasting his concerts to audiences far beyond those in attendance. He thus established solid partnerships with European broadcasters, especially in the Netherlands, Germany, Austria, and the United Kingdom, where audiences already had a strong emotional connection to classical music and the light, festive style he created. Recordings of his special concerts, such as the famous open-air shows in Maastricht, became true television events, with broadcasts reaching audiences of millions of viewers. One of André Rieu's most striking strategies was to turn his concerts into premium television products. Unlike many classical artists who appeared sporadically on TV, Rieu established a recurring programming model in which his end-of-year specials, themed performances, and behind-the-scenes tour footage were shown regularly. These programs became part of the cultural calendar of broadcasters, ensuring not only visibility for the conductor, but also a steady stream of revenue. One of the most emblematic moments of Rieu's television impact took place in the United Kingdom, when the Sky Arts channel dedicated an entire period to his work, temporarily renaming the channel Sky Arts Rieu. and showing 24 hours of documentaries, concerts, and interviews. This publicity stunt was a milestone in how a classical artist managed to dominate a television platform in a manner similar to major pop or movie stars. In addition, this type of exposure boosted his sales of DVDs, tickets, and official merchandise, solidifying his brand as a global phenomenon. Television also opened doors for Rieu to develop indirect advertising partnerships, especially through associations with major media networks. As his recordings are sold for broadcast in dozens of countries, it is common for audio product manufacturers, tourism companies, cultural event brands, and even vinyl and CD distributors to use his image to promote musical experiences. Although Rieu is not known for directly associating his name with consumer products as mainstream celebrities do, his constant presence in TV commercials promoting his own shows, compilations, and tours functions, in practice, as a high-impact advertising partnership. Broadcasters often use his image in promotional campaigns to attract audiences to their programming, further strengthening the conductor's influence in the media. Another important point is that Rieu's team maintains complete control over the audio-visual production of his concerts. This means that he produces his own videos, DVDs, and documentaries through his own company, André Rieu Productions. This model allows him to negotiate directly with broadcasters, streaming platforms, and international TV networks, without intermediaries, maximizing profits and maintaining absolute creative control over his image. This control is one of the reasons why his televised concerts have such a distinctive aesthetic. Impeccable lighting, elaborate costumes, constant focus on the audience's emotions, dramatic close-ups, and cinematography designed to transform each performance into a magical experience. Through well-structured contracts with European channels and later with broadcasters in Australia, the United States, and Latin America, Rieu has managed to spread his music far beyond the boundaries of traditional classical music. Special programs broadcast during Christmas, New Year's, and important cultural occasions have earned him a captive place on television, transforming his name into a symbol of celebration, nostalgia, and joy. In the digital age, partnerships have evolved. His concerts are now licensed to platforms such as YouTube, music streaming services, and even cinema screenings through special global broadcast events. These new partnerships have further expanded his reach, especially among viewers who may never have had contact with classical music. Even so, Rieu has managed to maintain the essence that made him famous: the combination of sophisticated music with light, accessible, and emotional entertainment. In short, André Rieu's advertising partnerships and TV contracts are an essential pillar of his success. Not only do they guarantee visibility and international reach, but they also help consolidate his image as a complete artist, present on various platforms and always connected to his audience. His ability to transform classical music into a grand television spectacle is one of the reasons why his brand has grown so much, making him not just a conductor, but a true global media phenomenon. André Rieu's luxurious lifestyle is a direct reflection of his extraordinary career, his dedication to music, and the unique way he has turned his passion into a global empire. Although he is recognized worldwide as the King of the Waltz, behind the scenes is a man who has built a life surrounded by comfort, elegance, art, and history. His luxury is not extravagant in the usual sense of the word. It is a luxury that blends romanticism, tradition, emotional investment, and a deep respect for beauty, whether in architecture, nature, or the musical instruments he collects. One of the most grandiose expressions of this lifestyle is the historic castle in Maastricht, a true architectural gem from the 16th century. The property, known as Huis de Torentjes, House of Little Towers, has centuries of history and represents a childhood dream come true. André, who as a boy attended piano lessons there and saw it as a dark and austere environment, grew up nurturing a fascination with castles, inspired in part by the Tintin comics. When he had the opportunity to buy it, he did not hesitate to transform that mysterious place from his childhood into a symbol of his success. The castle is not just a display of wealth, it has been restored with extreme care, preserving original features from the 15th and 16th centuries, while André has added his personal touch with elegant decorations, pieces collected on trips around Europe, and even a French orangery filled with exotic plants and tropical birds. This level of personalization reveals his artistic sensibility off-stage as well. Maintaining the property, however, is as grand as its beauty. The castle, made of porous limestone, requires constant repairs. Rieu has mentioned that when he finishes restoring one part, another already needs maintenance, something that requires significant investments every year. In addition to this iconic residence, André also has an extensive real estate portfolio in Maastricht, including dozens of properties, reinforcing his strong connection to his hometown and his appreciation for historic environments. Another striking pillar of his luxurious lifestyle is his music collections, especially his rare instruments. Among his most valuable possessions are his Stradivarius, a handcrafted masterpiece dating from 1667, and another from 1732, both valued at millions. He does not treat them as mere instruments, but as extensions of his artistic soul. For him, they have their own history. Trees planted in the time of Christopher Columbus, wood shaped by the hands of Antonio Stradivari, and centuries of music impregnated in every fiber. The care taken with these instruments is so meticulous that they travel with an escort, receive special treatment on flights, security accompaniment, and controlled climatic conditions. Interestingly, André jokes that the violin is covered by million-dollar insurance policies, but his own hands, responsible for the sounds that thrill millions, are not. Even so, for him, the emotional value outweighs the financial. André Rieu's luxury is also reflected in the way he treats his orchestra and his team, whom he affectionately calls his family. Instead of following the rigid logic of many musical productions, André offers musicians a comfortable and welcoming environment. They travel in customized luxury buses, have their own chef, traveling gym, health team, and even a daycare center for the children of band members during tours. This meticulous care reveals a striking feature of his lifestyle: shared luxury. For him, success is not just accumulated wealth, but the ability to provide well-being to the people who travel with him around the world. On international tours, another grand aspect stands out: the monumental productions. Themed stages, gigantic sets, scenic castles, artificial gardens, thousands of fresh flowers, and cinematic lighting are all part of his shows. Rieu spares no expense when it comes to creating memorable experiences for his audience. He believes that music should be felt with all the senses, and that includes turning every concert into a visual feast. Despite earning millions each month and enjoying a comfortable lifestyle, André maintains simple habits that balance his luxurious life. He enjoys tranquility at home, moments in nature, hiking, reading, and time with his family. His wife, Marjorie, plays a key role in this balance, helping him keep his life organized and his public image refined, without excess. Elegance is also reflected in his wardrobe: impeccable suits, custom-made shoes, elaborate stage costumes, and a classic style that matches his romantic image. Everything harmonizes with the musical universe of the waltz, which is always present in his life. Overall, André Rieu's luxurious lifestyle is not just a display of wealth, but a reflection of his artistic aesthetic, his love of beauty, and the way he has transformed music into a complete universe. Every property, every instrument, and every detail of his productions reveal a man guided by passion, romanticism, and the relentless pursuit of enchantment. His luxury is, above all, emotional and sensory, a natural extension of the magical world he creates on stage and that continues to inspire millions around the globe. André Rieu's legacy and passion for music form a unique story, built on emotion, dedication, and a deep love for the art of connecting people through sound. Since the beginning of his career, Rieu has always believed that classical music should not be something distant, reserved only for experts or the cultural elite. For him, music is a universal language, capable of awakening joy, nostalgia, tears, and celebration in anyone, regardless of origin, age, or musical knowledge. This vision has shaped everything he has built: his orchestra, his concerts, his arrangements, his compositions, and his entire artistic style. When he founded the Johann Strauss Orchestra in 1987, Rieu brought to life what he had always dreamed of: an orchestra that would not only play with technical perfection, but with soul, energy, and spontaneity. His goal was to create an environment where the audience could relax, dance, clap their hands, and truly feel part of the music. Instead of rigid formality, he brought lightness, humor, and enchantment to the stage, transforming classical concerts into great cultural celebrations. This innovative approach redefined the way the world sees classical music. What was once considered a serious and conservative environment became, in Rieu's hands, a vibrant spectacle that mixes talent, charisma, theatricality, and emotion. His legacy is not limited to having sold millions of CDs and DVDs, nor to the dozens of international awards or concerts that fill arenas and stadiums on every continent. His impact goes far beyond the numbers. He has managed to break down barriers and overcome prejudices about classical music, proving that it can be enchanting, accessible, and fun for everyone. A striking aspect of his passion is the way he relates to the music he plays. For Rieu, each melody is a story, each waltz is an emotional journey, and each instrument has a soul of its own. His iconic Stradivarius violin, for example, is not just a rare or valuable instrument, it is his companion on his journeys, a living symbol of dedication, cultural heritage, and absolute respect for the art. He believes that music should touch the heart, and so he chooses each piece carefully, seeking to evoke feelings and memories in the audience. This sensitivity is visible in his performances. He smiles, interacts, improvises, tells stories, and creates magical moments that remain etched in the memory of those who watch. His orchestra, composed of musicians who have accompanied him for decades, has become almost a musical family, united not only by technique but by shared joy and passion. Another essential element of his legacy is the way he inspired new generations. Young people who had never heard classical music came to admire the genre thanks to his charismatic way of presenting it. Children, the elderly, entire families, and even people who believed they did not like classical music began to attend his concerts and watch television broadcasts that reach millions of viewers. His passion is also reflected in the grandiose sets, elegant costumes, and cinematic productions that transform each performance into a sensory experience. Lights, colors, humor, romance, and nostalgia combine to create memorable evenings. Rieu doesn't just deliver music, he delivers concentrated emotion. He gives people back the feeling of enchantment, something that many thought was lost in the modern world. In addition, his work has helped revitalize the repertoire of waltzes, polkas, and popular classical pieces, reviving compositions that had been forgotten by the general public for decades. His influence is so strong that many people around the world have discovered Johann Strauss, Shostakovich, Offenbach, and other composers through his engaging interpretations. Over the years, André Rieu has become more than a conductor or violinist. He has become a cultural symbol, an ambassador of musical joy. His legacy is made up of both notes and smiles, both technique and emotion. Each concert is a celebration of life, an invitation to the audience to remember that music has the power to unite, heal, inspire, and transform. Ultimately, his passion for music is not just something he expresses on stage, it is his way of living, feeling, and sharing the world. And it is precisely this authenticity that has made him a global phenomenon and a living legend of classical music. His legacy will continue to echo for generations, because André Rieu has not only changed the way classical music is played, he has changed the way the world feels it.